Channel Business Services.
Welcome, dear followers, to MT Channel. Today, we are getting into a really important part of the Saudi labor law, the specific articles that are all about training and getting qualified. Look, whether you're an employer trying to level up your team or you're an employee who wants to grow your career, understanding these rules is more than just helpful, it's absolutely critical. So, let's get right into it.
And hey, before we get into all the legal details, if this is the kind of info you find valuable, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and subscribe, and make sure you ring that notification bell. A quick like and a share also makes a huge difference and helps us keep making more explainers just like this one. Okay, we've broken this down into 5 straightforward sections so it's easy to follow. We're going to start with the employer's basic responsibility. Then, we'll get into the nuts and bolts of the training contract itself. After that, we'll cover the rules during the training, see what happens after it's all done, and finish up with some really important protections for everyone. So, let's kick things off with Section 1, the employer's duty to train. You can think of this as the foundation for everything else. It all starts right here.
The law really starts by asking a huge question. At the end of the day, whose job is it to develop an employee's skills? The answer it gives is super direct, no ambiguity at all.
And here it is, that direct answer, coming straight out of Article 42. It says that every single employer is required to have a policy for training their Saudi employees. This isn't just a friendly suggestion, it's a legal duty. The whole point is to build up the national workforce, and the law puts that responsibility squarely on the employer.
And just to show you how serious this is, Article 43 takes it even further. It's not enough to just have a policy written down somewhere. Nope. Employers are legally required to train a specific percentage of their Saudi employees. And that percentage? It's set by the minister, which means it's a rule that's both powerful and can be updated as needed.
All right, on to Section 2. We've covered the why employers have this duty. So now, let's dig into the how. We're talking about the official document that makes it all happen, the training contract. Article 45 gives us a nice, clean definition. A training contract is just a formal agreement where an employer promises to train someone for a specific job. This is really important because it doesn't just apply to people who already work there, it also covers people brought in from the outside specifically for training. Now this is where the law gets super specific. Article 46 lists 6 things that are absolute must-haves for any training contract to be legit. First, it has to be in writing. It has to name the exact profession. It needs to lay out the full timeline and all the stages. And it has to define the pay. And here's a big one, it can't be based on how much you produce. Finally, it has to clearly state where the training will happen and what the rights and duties are for both sides.
And the law doesn't just stop with the contract paper. Article 44 says the actual training program has to be well-defined too. It has to cover everything, from the specific curriculum and total hours to the mix of classroom theory and hands-on practice, and even how people will be tested and what kind of certificate they'll get. It's all about making sure the training is high quality and crystal clear.
Okay, Section 3, Rules of Engagement. What happens if the training relationship just isn't a good fit? This part covers all those what-ifs and the legal way to end the contract if you have to.
Article 48 makes it very clear that ending the contract is a two-way street. An employer can pull the plug if it's obvious the trainee just can't or won't finish the program. But, and this is so important, the trainee has the exact same right to say, you know what, this isn't for me, and walk away. It's a fair exit for both parties.
And the process is simple. Whoever wants to end the contract has to give the other person at least 1 week's notice. This just keeps things professional and avoids any sudden shocks.
So let's say the training is a huge success. What's next? In Section 4, we're going to look at the post-training path and the obligations that can kick in after you graduate.
Now, this is probably one of the most critical parts of Article 48. The employer has invested in the trainee, right? So, after they complete the program, the employer can require them to work for a period that's equal to the length of the training. The trainee then has a major choice to make. Option A, they accept the job and fulfill that commitment. Or Option B, they refuse the job, but if they do, they have to pay the employer back for the full cost of the training.
All right, our final section, number 5, Protections in Special Cases. The law is really clear on this. Just because you're a trainee, it doesn't mean you're unprotected. There's a big safety net here.
And this is so important. Article 49 flat out says that trainees are covered by a lot of the same protections as regular employees. We're talking about rules on working hours, getting official holidays, rest periods, and, crucially, all the health and safety regulations. You're never outside the protection of the law.
Article 47 also has this really cool part that connects education directly to the job market. The minister actually has the power to tell companies they have to accept a certain number of students and new graduates for training. This basically creates a mandated bridge to help new talent get that first bit of real-world experience.
So when you put all these pieces together, it really makes you think. When training is set up like this, as a formal, legal investment, who do you think gets the better deal in the end? Is it the employer, who gets a skilled workforce ready to go? Or is it the employee, who walks away with a brand new, valuable qualification? It's definitely something to chew on.
And that wraps up our breakdown of the training and qualification articles in the Saudi labor law. Thank you so much for joining us for this explainer.
We really hope you found this clear and useful. If you did, a subscription, a like, and a share would be amazing. We'll see you in the next explainer.